This time on the laboratory, we're going to work on another Mr. Christmas. There you go. Merry-go-round. Or... doesn't have a name. Anyhow, it is from the same outdoor display that we talked about in the past. I do know the top is missing. It has some issues. It does not light up. It does spin and make sounds. I think it's got corrosion on the plug, so you can hear it. It tries, and then see it. Yeah, it's trying. I think it's the plug. So, there's another one of my homemade connectors, since it did not come with a power supply. So, just like the other ones, it comes apart from the top. We're going to find out. So I'm going to unscrew this screw on the top. And apparently just drop it. And we'll look for it later. That's what the inside looks like. Here's the next layer, and if you look down in there, there's another screw. And voila! And this one's a machine screw. Oops. So it doesn't have the coarse threads. Not my intention there, but there's the inside. The horse survived. So. And here's a close-up of the mechanism. You can see you got the pulley right here, and as I rotate it, you can slowly see it drives a bigger pulley right there, which then drives your ring and pinion. And I think part of the reason why she's skipping is the housing right there is cracked, which holds the axle or the through shaft on the gear, which might be causing the gear to jump up and bind. Power port's under the circuit board to see if that's got some issues, and so is the off-on switch. Turn that down so I don't go deaf. Alright, now it's going to show up on camera very well. You see how fast that's spinning. If you watch the belt and you watch the gears, see the gears slow down and speed up. The pulley's not changing speed, the belt's actually slipping. So every time the belt slips, it makes the gears speed up and slow down. So that's why you don't get a consistent speed. So it is going to need a new belt. Speaker sounds horrible. Might be blown, or it could be a bad volume. Song rotate works. So, next step is we're going to disassemble this. We're going to try and do what I've done before. We're going to take this piece, which has a screw that holds it on right there, clean this, fill it with glue, clamp it, let it sit for a while to re-harden. That way it's less likely to cause the bushing to pop out. So, let's start dismantling. As you can see, this piece comes right off. So, this is the piece we're going to have to fix. Other side looks fine. Here's the modular assembly. It's just a pulley on the bottom. Apparently I have to take all this out, unscrew those 2 screws on that crossbar to replace that pulley. The wire is still attached to the circuit board. So, circuit board appears to be held in with 3 screws. And it is. Circuit board appears to be clean. I don't see any corrosion. No discoloration, no blown capacitors. All the components appear to be okay. It does function, just doesn't sound good. So, the problem is probably there, which is the power port. Probably corroded or bad. And then I bet you the speaker, because this, compared to the other ones, this one's nice and smooth. But on the top, you put a dab of glue, and there's a screw. You can unscrew this wheel to actually see the actual electronic component below it. Let's see if I can get some of this glue to break off. And there's the potentiometer. It's a, if you know anything about electronics, it's a 10 kilo ohm for resistance, control the volume. And it does look good. It does not show any signs of corrosion. So I'm thinking the sound issue is a bad speaker, and the power issue is a bad plug. So, let's check the speaker. Need a different screwdriver. There we go. Now, you don't generally have to take these metal clips all the way out, but they did glue them. You can see the resin right there, the discoloration. So what I'm doing is I'm breaking the resin free from the speaker, and then sliding the clips. Now the speaker is also resined in, which is always a treat, especially when they're in a recessed cavity. Speaker doesn't actually look too bad. Oh no, you can hear it. If you ever take a blown speaker and push on the cone, you can hear scratchiness. So, but just to ensure, set the motor so it's out of the way. Turn it back on. Plug it back in. There's definitely a connection issue because the power is spiking. So we're probably going to have to replace this plug right here. I don't like the way this speaker sounds either, especially when I do that. It's really scratchy. So, the power port is just hot glued in. So I'm going to try and break some of this glue free. Alright, it does not want to come apart real fast. So I'm going to use the heat pen. Pushing this out of the way. I don't know if you can see, it's slowly melting. I'm applying heat and then stop. This is hot enough it can actually melt the plastic. I'm trying not to melt the plastic, just enough to melt the glue rapidly, so I can scrape as much of it off the mounting tabs as possible with the screwdriver. In case you're wondering, I have it set for 185 degrees centigrade, which is really hot. Still really hot. There we go. I did with the screwdriver was push up from the outside to pry it out, like so. So, now that it's out, I need to find a new one of those. And I'm going to look around for a speaker. And I'm also going to clean out the crack and glue it, like I did on previous installments of the repairs. So I'm going to take the brass bushing out, like so. I'm going to clean up that hairline fracture, which does go all the way through. And I'm going to glue it and clamp it. And then when I glue this and clamp it, I'm going to glue it with the V-notch I talked about in the previous one, where I'm going to make a little valley and fill it with glue so I have more surface area. I still think I have the old box picture here, so I'm going to V-notch it and then fill it. And then when it's starting to dry, I'm going to push this back in, so that way This will also help bond from the inside. So I have surface area on the crack, surface area on the bushing. To do that, clean them with alcohol. That way there's no residue from your fingers, oils, because these are lubed with usually a silicone grease. So we're going to stop right here. I'm going to fix the crack, unless you want to watch it for 30 minutes while it sits in a vise. And then I'm going to try and locate a speaker and my power plugs. I have them right here. Mine are grayish white, not black, but it's the same power plug that's right there. So we're going to get that put in, and we're going to get the soldering done on it. So as you can see, they're the same, just a different color. So you can buy these on eBay. I think I bought like a 10 or 15 pack for $5 or $6. Comes in handy for working on a lot of projects. There's different styles. I bought multiple styles, but since this is a very common style on a lot of animated houses where they make a base for it with clips, that's why I bought these as well. So, alright, we'll be back. We'll get a speaker, something that will hopefully work as a speaker. I'll see what I have lying around. A power plug change and a crack repair. Then we'll see if this thing works again. Okay, new belt, new plug. I had to use the old speaker still. Apparently it's not the speaker. I tested it with another speaker and they sound the same. I actually tested it with this speaker, which is bigger, it's physically bigger, and sounds the same. And then I plugged that other speaker into something else and it sounds fine. So it's coming either, the switch though still tests okay. So I think it's coming from the circuit board. But it sounds better though since I resoldered all the contacts. Everything's turning, so we're going to drop this on top. As you can see, it spins just fine. New belt, new plug. Not as sensitive anymore. So all we gotta do is put the screw in there, screw the top piece back on, screw on the lid, and we're good to go. So this one was a pretty simple one. It just needed basically a new plug. This piece here. Apparently it's just got, it looks good, but if you wiggle the center pin, which is this piece back here, it just creates a lot of noise. I don't get good continuity through it. So probably just internally broken solder joint, or if this is actually a rivet on this one, it's probably bad riveting. It's just worn out from age. And a new drive belt. As you saw, the original belt was red and the new belt is tan. There's the original belt that was slipping. You see now it's not jerking as it's trying to turn. So this one was relatively easy. Slipping drive belt and a new connection. If you have one at your house that has a slipping connection, or excuse me, an arcing or bad connection, you can buy those plugs on eBay like I was saying. There's multiple styles available, but this is the factory style right here. They're just a different color. And then if you break it and you have to drill a hole to replace a new one, here's another style. It has a nut. You can actually thread it through the body. Also works for adapting things that don't have an AC adapter. They just run on batteries, which eventually I'll get to showing you how to do that too. So, but for now, this one's pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and screw the top back on. Probably don't need to see how to do that. As you know, it's just a couple of screws, one in the center, two on this plate, and then one on the center. So other than that, I'll call this one a success. Quick, easy, took a few minutes. Oh, and I did glue that together. I shaved it and filled it with glue. I used the X-Acto knife to shave the V-notch, cleaned out the center, glued it, clamped it for 10 minutes, and I used Gorilla Glue. Just Gorilla Super Glue. Stuff works great. You can use regular super glue or crazy glue. So, but anyhow, hopefully that helped you tear apart your Mr. Christmas carousel. And any questions or concerns, leave them in the comment below. Thanks for watching.